Hello everyone, my name is Ping. In today's video, I am going to give you a brief introduction of personal finance, its current state, and three lenses that you may use to look at personal finance so that you will not be overwhelmed when you start the journey. Let's start with the concept of personal finance. So if you would ask trust the family or friend about personal finance, they probably will suggest on saving and investing or a combination of both as a personal finance plan. But if you actually do take a deeper look on personal finance, it covers a much broader topic. So in Investmentpedia, the personal finance actually covers the topic on budgeting, banking, insurance, mortgage, investment, retirement planning, tax, and estate planning. And not only just on this topic, it also requires you to have some general understanding on economics, finance, management, sociology, and psychology, because a lot of the principles are intervened with each other so that we have these dynamic conditions of the society. So personal finance are rooted on all these different subjects too. I know how you feel now. I just want to say that you are not alone. An interesting fun fact here, personal finance was actually first introduced in 1920s as a discipline under consumer economics and family economics. And look at how it has developed after 100 years until now. So the most recent survey conducted by Councils for Economic Education has revealed that only 21 states out of the 50 in the US require you to take a personal finance class in high school, and 25 of the states require you to take a basic economic class in high school. So it's not only you. I'm even thinking the education system by itself is very overwhelmed by this topic. So personal finance, it's basically not widely educated among general populations. In a very recent survey that conducted by National Finance Education Council, they only actually ask you one simple question. The question is, when you have a financial questions, who do you personally turn to for trusted financial advice? So the result is not so surprising. Roughly 40% of the people will turn to their parents, their friends, and their coworkers for suggestions. And then roughly 36% of the people will turn to a professional advisor for suggestions. And what is really sad is the rest of the 24% of the people basically say they have nobody that they can turn to for trusted information. One thing I do kind of want to mention here is this survey did not give any descriptions on the demographic of the group of people being surveyed. So I would like to say actually among quite a bit of friends of mine in the millennial ages that would like to use YouTube as a resource. Even if you don't have a trusted family members or friend that knows about personal finance, but you can still get a lot of information just through Googling or using YouTube. I do want to have a quick mention here is even if you do find out Google and YouTube has a good resource, but do fact check and do your due diligence to research on the information that you gain from one web page or one YouTube channel. Are they true, or are they true to the situation that you are in? Now I want to introduce you three lenses that you may use to look at personal finance, that you will not be so overwhelmed just by looking at the concept personal finance, and it may be helpful for you to kickstart the journey earlier. The first lenses I would like to introduce here is personal finance is a toolbox. The aspect that we mentioned about banking, mortgage, insurance, investing are all tools within this toolbox. And I do want to highlight here is you don't have to learn every single tool in this toolbox. I would like to use cleaning as an example to make it more relatable. So you have something you want to accomplish, such as cleaning the floor. So you will have a varieties of choices that you can choose from. You can use the broom, you can use vacuum, you can use Roomba, and you can even just use a towel to wipe the floor. So you have a lot of different tools within the box, but you can use all of them, but for the most part, you're either gonna use one of them or a combination of a few of them to clean your floor. So that's the same thing. It's like you want to achieve certain financial goals in your life. You can use one tool in the personal finance toolbox or a combination of a few tools. But when you approach it, do not think of that, oh my God, I just want to have to learn every single aspect of personal finance. That just seems very overwhelming at the beginning. So just think of it, it's a toolbox. You want to pick up one tool at a time. And the second aspect I want you to have is approaching personal finance. It seems to be a very abstract concept, but I want to let you know these abstract concepts are built up by a lot of very concrete behaviors. So a very simple example that I wanted to use here is also related to cleaning. Imagine that I am 2 years old right now, and my mom come to me seeing that I'm sitting in a messy room, and she will look at me and say, Ping, go clean your room right now. Do you think after 2 hours that she come back to my room and see me sitting in the room will be fully organized and spotless? The most possible result is I probably will fall asleep among a mountains of toys or messes. So why? It's not that I don't want to clean my room, but I just don't understand the concept of cleaning a room. Actually, what my mom eventually end up doing is she will instruct me and saying, did you see that toy on the floor? Go pick that up and put them into this storage box. And maybe next time, pick up 2 and then put them into the box. Then I learned first thing is pick up the toy and put them into the box. And later, she will introduce me on how to make my bed, fold the sheets, and put up the pillows. And then I will learn how to organize my closet and clean the floor. So when I get to maybe 5-7 years old, and when my mom come to my room and she saw all the mess, and she look at me and say again, Ping, can you go clean your room? And in my mind, I started to get the instruction and it all makes sense now. Then I will start to run the series of micro process that I have learned. First, I will pick up my toys. Second, I will make my bed. I will organize my closet and clean the floor. There is a good example of me learning how to clean my room. So apply these to personal finance. Just like I say, you don't have to learn all the tools at once. You learn them one by one. You learn how to budget banking. You learn how to invest. You learn how to buy a home, or you learn how to do your estate planning. And when one day people ask you and say, could you improve your personal finance condition a little bit? Then you go and run through these micro process one by one. And then you have the structure doing how to improve your personal finance. That's the same way of cleaning a room. So don't be intimidated by the very abstract concept. They are associated with a lot of concrete steps. And now you are starting the process of learning the concrete step, just like a 2-year-old learning how to clean your room. The third lenses I like to use to look at personal finance is to understand the why behind the how on personal finance. I know this sounds like extremely cliche. However, there are two very important aspects on this part of understanding the why is a lot more important than understanding the how. So the first aspect of this is personal finance, unlike a natural behavior that we have, like going to eat delicious food, hanging out with your friend, playing video games, or going out traveling, those are natural desires and it gives you instant gratifications and the pump right away. However, personal finance a lot of times require you to go reverse the process. It actually asks you to sacrifice some instant gratification so that you can fulfill some future purpose of doing something else. And that's the why. If you do have the why, that will generate the drive behind that you having the discipline to move on with your personal finance planning. And the second aspect here is, as we mentioned earlier, personal finance is such a complex topic and it also covers so many disciplines knowledge. And these toolbox, it feels like it has a unlimited tool or is such a variety of tools that it makes you feel so confused. However, understanding the why behind it is going to help you to decide what kind of tool you're going to choose to put into your toolbox and how you're going to use them as a combination. I would like to use cleaning one last time as the analogy here. So you need to clean, but why do you need to clean or tidy or organize? You need to do that because you have a guest coming to visit you, or you need to do that because you are a person that you just function and you work, you live better in a clean and organized environment, or you wanted to clean because you wanted to become the next Marie Kondo. So you can kind of see all three scenarios. It actually maybe requires a different tool and also requires a different way of a combination of the tool. So it's the same thing for personal finance. So the why is actually gonna help you to narrow down the tool and how you're gonna use the tool. These are the three lenses I like to use to look at personal finance. And I hope this brings personal finance a little closer to you, because in my mind, a lot of times when we're trying to approach a such broad and abstract concept, it can become very frustrating and we often feel like we are left out or left behind. But these are the way how we are going to look at personal finance, understanding the why behind it, and help you to choose which kind of tool you're gonna use in the toolbox. And then learn the micro process or micro habit one by one. And one day when you understand it, you will have your own personal finance system. It's gonna be different than other people's, that's fine, but it's gonna help you to achieve the goal that you have in life. As I would always like to say that the best time of learning something that we want was always yesterday, but the second best time is now. So don't be frustrated and let's go through the journey together and start the process of personal finance.